Welcome to the Fall Turf Festival at Gulfstream Park West. I'm Ron Nicoletti, joined by Katie Stazak, and we're starting the day today with a fast main track and a firm turf course, and we have a carryover today in the Rainbow Six. There were some horses alive yesterday, but they didn't get it. $7,700 plus. That's races 5 through 10. And Katie, they were close yesterday, but they didn't get it.
They were close. Not only were the two singles, two very live horses, they ran second and third.
Yeah, so someone must have been a little upset that they didn't get the Rainbow Six, but that leaves it for us this afternoon, so we'll see how that works out. And, before we go into the Friday card, as I mentioned, with the fast main track and the firm turf course, let's see what's out there in Twitterland. The first one we're going to look at is a basketball coach going to be drawing the pills, isn't he?
He
John
is.
Calipari.
Coach Cal from University of Kentucky basketball. We're going to see sports colliding for the Breeders' Cup. He's going to be drawing the post positions for the Breeders' Cup Classic and the distaff. Very, very cool. Actually, Keeneland just had a joint event last night where they were providing transportation to the UK game and extra parking at Keeneland. So nice to see different sports working together, and love to see Coach Cal get involved at the track.
Well, I love to see this second tweet here of Lady Eli. This is pretty nice. Looks like she's on a little vacay.
She looks fantastic. I was thrilled to see this. Of course, a champion, undefeated, but was injured. She almost foundered. She was suffering from laminitis. They were really unsure whether she was going to make it, but it looks like she may even get back to the racetrack next year. That would be fantastic, but for now, I am ecstatic to see her just grazing at a paddock.
We got a great day of racing at our sister track, Laurel, on Saturday. Maryland Million Day and King Leatherbury in the Hall of Fame this year. He's decided to go to the sprint rather than the turf with the most popular horse in Maryland, and that is Ben's Cat.
Remember a basketball player named LeBron? He had something called The Decision.
Right.
Here is the decision for Ben's Cat. And this is a rather surprising one. In his 5 previous, this is his 6th Maryland Million, unbelievably so. In his 5 prior appearances, he ran on the turf. This is the first time he's going to go on the main track.
Well, what a great day of racing that's going to be. That is on Saturday, and one of our leading jockey, Tyler Gaffney, will be up there riding on Saturday in Maryland. So you can come right here to Gulfstream Park West. Of course, that is our sister track, Gulfstream Park, and watch and wager on all the races in Maryland on this Saturday. Actually, today, too. Why not? So now we'll look at the Friday card. First race is on the turf. 5 furlongs. Claim is 3 and up. They're $10,000. We have a jockey change in here and one scratch. The jockey change comes on number 3. Make the rider Eddie Castro, and scratch the main track only participant number 7. Times Concern. Katie and I pretty much in agreement here, except for our third pick. We both started with the horse on the morning line at 3 to 5, and that is Pirate's Vow.
Well, the way the turf has been playing, we've seen a lot of horses come from off the pace on the grass, but here's one that's going to be on the front end, but I think his class is just going to outdo that bias that we've been seeing on the turf course. Returns to South Florida today, made 5 starts in the Midwest at Arlington and Indiana Downs. Last time out, he set the pace, was caught to finish 4th, but he was only beaten 2 lengths, and it was in an allowance. He takes the appropriate step down in competition to accommodate for the stiffer competition here in South Florida.
Yeah, he looks really strong at that $10,000 level. Another horse we both used on the ticket was the 4 Running Alone, who does his best running at the distance from off the pace today, and he's going to sit that productive stalking trip behind the speedy Pirate's Vow today. So if that bias we've been seeing over the last couple of days actually changed later on in the afternoon yesterday, we'll see how it goes. But certainly looks like number 3 Pirate's Vow is the one to beat. Running Alone will be running late in that race. Who else did you use?
I used JC50. Returned to the turf course for the first time since May in his last start. Didn't fare all that well, but he was competing against a lot stronger competition at this level. This is a very wide-ranging level. From a buyer standpoint, I just thought he fit in with these horses.
Well, let's go to race number 2 this afternoon, and 6 furlongs maiden claiming 2-year-olds in here. We do have a scratch of number 2, Moon Stricking, and please note the jockey on the number 1 is Eduardo Nunez, and another race where it looks pretty solid here for the number 4, and that is Nuke.
Yeah, this from the George Navarro barn. Broke in at the start of his debut at Gulfstream. That was on September 3rd. Picked up some pieces late to finish 4th at the level and distance. Eddie Castro going to pick up the mount today. We've talked a little bit about this barn and how they're not known for their 2-year-olds, and I thought I would look up some numbers. And you know what? This barn here at Gulfstream Park West last year wanted a 43% clip with 2-year-olds. So we'll see.
After the first start, I think it was. That's what we were talking about.
Yep.
You know, they need to get a race into them. That's why I like this horse so much today. We were looking back, and the first time 2-year-olds, they don't do as well. But once they get them rolling, they really get them rolling. So number 4, Nuke, on both of our tickets, you know, you went with the number 1 horse. I went with the number 1 horse, my special one in second. But a first-time starter in number 5, Mr. Shangu, I think it is the son of Gotcha Gold.
He is, and out of the Montbrook mare Glory Mountain, who made just 1 start in her career. She was the runner-up, the lone sibling, a 2-time winner. Barboza only started 2 2-year-olds this year. He did win with 1 of them. I, of course, like that Zayas is going to be in the saddle.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots to like in here, and if there's a race ever set up for a first-time starter, this might be it. You know, you got to deal with the George Navarro horse making his second start, but a horse like this certainly could be on the exacted trifecta ticket. Please note, with the 5-horse field, there is no rolling super high 5 in this race. Any race with the 7 or more, we have. It's been a fun wager. We got a bunch of those happening today, so have no fear as we roll along through this race. I went with that one that you have in third and second, my special one, making its career debut with the 8 workouts over this track showing.
Yep.
So I just thought this horse would be ready to run, and I mentioned the jockey change to Eduardo Nunez today, and that is in race number 2. We're going to go to the 3rd race, and we're going to go back to the turf course today. 1 mile. It's an allowance optional claimer, 3-year-olds and up, $62,500. Jockey change on number 4, make the rider Jeffrey Sanchez, and scratch the main track only participant number 9, Rich Daddy. Want to go back and show you the performance of a really nice horse in here, and that is Good and Proper.
He's been running with some tough competition. This is 2 starts back from him the last time he was in South Florida, and I like the horses that finished just ahead of him a lot. These are 2 quality stakes turf horses here in South Florida, in My Point Exactly and Rizwan. Really gritting it out on the front end. This was a very exciting race, but Good and Proper holds his own. Watch him rally here and almost run down these 2. He's only beaten 3/4 of a length. Then he travels up to Kentucky Downs. He was 4th after rallying 5 wide in the $300,000 Dueling Grounds Derby. Finds a softer spot today. I did not put him on top of my ticket, but he should definitely be somewhere. I put him in 2nd, and looks like you put him in 3rd.
Yeah, I put him in 3rd, but I did use a horse I like today in here, and that's number 3, Dreams Cut Short. And this one, I believe, 6-1 or 5-1 on the morning line. An impressive winner on this course last October. Returns after rallying late to finish 3rd behind a classy stablemate that's called Lochte, and that was in the $75,000 Mr. Steele at Gulfstream Park last time out. Marcus Vitale's got his go-to jock in here, Matthew Rispoli in the saddle. I figure if you could run with Lochte, you can run with these this afternoon, so I put the number 3, Dreams Cut Short, right on top of my ticket. You did go with the inside horse in here, a horse I didn't use today, and that is Element, who's 7-2.
This is a wide open race, really, a very contentious field. This one returning to South Florida for the first time since April. That day he broke his maiden in his turf debut at Gulfstream for Todd Pletcher. Following that maiden breaking score, he went right up to Belmont and impressed. He hasn't been as great in his last 2, but he's had excuses. He ran in the Quick Call Stakes at Saratoga, a tough event and much too short for him. Then he went up to Monmouth and had trouble at the start. He's been working very strongly since coming back here to South Florida at Palm Beach Downs. Think he can rebound today.
Well, number 7, Rompin' Reed, who we both used on a ticket, is stretching out to this mile distance after stalking early and rallying late to come within the neck of defeating this same caliber competition. That was going 7.5 furlongs. He's a previous winner here. 2 races at Gulfstream Park West on the turf with a win and a 3rd. Makes the 3rd start of its current form cycle. Juan Laver at the controls. Rompin' Reed is actually the morning line favorite in here. I didn't see him as the morning line favorite, but I think he's got to be on the ticket.
I thought his last race was a monster effort. The horse that won, very classy in Joe's Blazing Aaron. He got away with setting pretty slow fractions for the 1/2 and 3/4 mark, and he closed into him. Can he duplicate that effort today? We'll see.
Well, when you see Joe's Blazing Aaron in your past performances, you know everybody else is playing catch me if you can. He's going to be up there running on it. So no disgrace losing to Joe's Blazing Aaron in that spot. Let's go to race number 4. 1 mile claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2 in life, $12,500. 6 runners in this field. Both Katie and I had the one full moon's mass. Facing winners today after drawing off, I thought, in very impressive fashion. Really crushed the field of $10,000 maidens. Won that race by 9.5 lengths. Was in hand. Jose Pinchin is the trainer. Apprentice Harry Hernandez handling the stretch out today. So if there is an unknown, it's the stretch out to a mile. But this horse won as easy as he could win last time.
Last time out when she won at 7/8, it was the first time she had stretched out to that distance. So she seems to like going farther. The main track we've seen has been playing very fair, so I think as the lone speed, she should be able to get away with this.
We also used the number 4, Spiritual Leader, who's 7 for 10 in the money at a mile, albeit without that victory.
You're right. 7 for 10 in the money, winless in 10 starts. Should be much more effective, though, at this distance when getting the class relief of a 50% drop in claiming price.
Yeah, I mean, it's a daughter of Cool Coleman, I think, as you mentioned, spotted really nicely for that $10,000 tag. I closed it out with the number 6 in here. That's Miss Naylene, and this one is stretching out around 2 turns today. Recovered from a little bit of an incident at the start, hopped in that race. Yeah, had a little bit of trouble at the start. Finished third against Simla, was going 7/8 of a mile. Was across town at Gulfstream Park West. I think the stretch out around 2 turns, maybe with a clean break, this horse can be somewhere on the ticket.
I think the 2 could also be somewhere on the ticket. I think we do have the top 2 figured out in this race, but this one also facing winners for the first time. Came from off the pace, rallied from last to make a 7-wide bid and got up for the win. Pretty impressive as well.
Well, let's go to race number 5, and as we mentioned, this is where the Rainbow Six starts each and every day with a 10-race card. That's races 5 through 10, a 20-cent wager, and this one is a 5-furlong turf event, maiden special weight, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, and we do have one scratch in here, and that is number 8, Mademoiselle Belle, and we're going to go back and show you a performance last time out.
Yes, this is from Sudestada. One of the first runners. We've got 2 in here from Tom Albertrani. It's his first runners in South Florida for the meet. This is Sudestada in her last race up at Saratoga's from August 22nd. Gets fanned 5 wide, as you saw into the stretch. Finishes third in this race. I think this is a filly that has really been improving, getting better with each start, and exits a tough race at Saratoga. Should like this group, and that was a career best effort.
Yeah, and the other horse from Tommy is Alabama Ashley. So 2 horses in this race today, and you went with that the number 1 horse right on top of your ticket. I went a little different way. I went with the 4 Idealism, and this one looked like she was home free last time out. She opened up a 5-length lead, was caught at the wire, settled for second and in front of a pair of next out winners. You knew I was going there. That was her debut at this same level and distance. The trainer's Michael Yates. He's got Juan Leyva rationing her speed today. We're going to know if this horse is going to be on or near the lead, what the bias will be like. It'll be race number 5. I don't see any pronounced bias anymore. I'm getting off that bandwagon right now. I think this was, if you're good enough, you can win on the front end or for just off the pace. So I like number 4 Idealism. I thought coming out of the key race, I put her on top. I don't know what she's for. Oh, she's actually the morning line favorite. You did go with the 1 Sudestada. I would absolutely not leave off my ticket. And we close it out with the 7 Ginger Rush.
Daughter of Speightstown making her turf debut for Ralph Nix. Ralph Nix, there should be going off. Dueled while down on the rail. Weakened to finish third in her debut. That was on August 29th. That was going 3/4 of a mile on the main track. Nix 28% with maidens making their first turf start in the past 6 months.
Yeah, and just runs a daughter of Speightstown should be able to handle that the surface switch this afternoon. She mentioned the connections. You don't need to know much more what summer that those 2 have had together. We're talking, of course, about Ralph Nix and Tyler Gaffleone. Let's go to race number 6. This kicks off our final pick 5 of the afternoon, and 7 furlongs claimers, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 3 races in life, or 3-year-olds in here. Unpublished work on the number 2 horse today. That's Cool Union Man. He worked 4 furlongs fast at Harris Training Center in 52 breezing. It was up in Ocala, so just wanted to put that out there. And I thought this was the horse to beat in here, and that's number 2 Cool Union Man.
And of course, I was thinking just like you because I have this one on top as well. Got bumped at the start of his last race, hustled to the front while about 4 wide. Then he still fought on pretty gamely to finish second at this level. That was going a mile on August 9th. Turning back an eighth of a mile today for Kathleen O'Connell. The key, returning to a surface on which he's a perfect 2 for 2.
You knew I was going there because that's one of my favorite angles early on in this meet. Horses that like to run here, and it's proven they like to run well here when they come back, and this one never beaten here, so I put that one on top of the ticket. But number 7, Primal Might, who I put in second, is stretching out today that additional furlong after rallying between horses last time out to finish second. That was against $30,000 condition. Claim is going 3/4 of a mile, was on a sealed sloppy track, was at Gulfstream Park, and I just thought off that performance this horse can run pretty well in there. Third choice on the morning line, and I just see this horse as sitting a nice trip and grabbing a share.
What about the stablemate? We always talk about the longer shot of the uncoupled entry. Here's the 3, Jaden's Best, 6-1 in the morning line. He's a gelded son of Wildcat Air. Should appreciate the class relief. He started in the mile in his 16th Florida Sire Stakes Foolish Pleasure in his last start on October 3rd. It was also his first start in more than 4 months. Prior to that, he was a runaway winner in his only previous start in the claiming ranks. So I think coming second start off the layoff and with the class relief, he's very live.
Well, we agree with our top pick, but after that, it ends. And I used the number 6, Fastidious Son, who broke his maiden at this distance, making him the only entrant in the race to ever win at 7 furlongs. I like that angle. Stretches out after his outside bid fell short, going 3/4 of a mile in the slop last time out. He's a proven commodity at 7 furlongs. The old adage, never bet a horse that hasn't done something in the past. Nobody else has done what he's done, win at 7 furlongs. A little bit of a stretch there, but I think this horse, good to be on the ticket. Anybody else?
The 8, Friends with K. Mill, is actually the morning line favorite in this race, which I'm a little surprised to see. But this one, making his South Florida debut, also debuting for the Kristen Mulhall barn. Kristen Mulhall had a long shot run very well on yesterday's program, almost won. He was turned over to her care. Last time finished 7th on the grass at Del Mar, but he's actually stakes placed on the main track. I think he fits in very well here, but I'm a little surprised to see him as a favorite.
Well, you know, Kristen's been doing a great job all summer long, and I can understand that, this horse is definitely going to take some money. You got the key there, stakes placed on the dirt. So an important stat for that, and as I mentioned, the barn doing well. Let's go to race number 7 today, 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. Claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Non-winners of a race on the turf in 6 months or April 16th. 7 horses in this field. We both went with the number 3, Almost an Angel, who stretches out to 1 mile and 16th. 14 races at this distance, 2 wins, 2 seconds, but that's pretty good for the level of horses they're facing here at that mile and the 16th distance.
And here's where we say that we officially do not believe in the turf bias because she is without question the lone speed on paper in this race. Entering off a solid 3rd place effort on September 20th at Gulfstream, took the lead up until the stretch, held on for 3rd, only beaten a length and 3/4, has a great record at the distance, and I think she should get the trip today.
Yeah, and I think she's going to have an easier time on and near the front end today than she did last time out. It just looks like she's got that, tactical advantage there, so we'll see how that plays out. Number 3, Almost an Angel on top of our ticket. You went with the number 7, Gigi's Miracle in second.
We've got the same 3 horses here, just mixed up a little bit at the end of the trifecta. After breaking slowly, this one rallied from 5 wide to get up for second. A half a length ahead of Almost an Angel on September 20th, a stone-cold closer. Also owns a win here at Gulfstream Park West, the one and only time that she won at this distance.
Number 1, Holy Day, who we both have on the ticket, is stretching out that additional 16th of a mile today. Rallying late last time out, got up for 5th, was beaten about a little over 3 lengths as the favorite behind this very familiar competition, going a mile. Her ability to stalk the pace from a ground-saving inside post can help her make amends today. If someone goes up and challenges number 3, Almost an Angel, or if speed is not holding, might set up for a horse like number 1, Holy Day, who's going to save all the ground and come running late.
Absolutely. Is still looking, though, for her first career turf victory, though she has been holding her own on the grass.
Let's go to race number 8 this afternoon. We're going back to the main track, 7 furlongs. It's an allowance optional claimer for state-bred 3-year-olds, and the claiming level that they run for here is $12,500, and we have a full field field of 7 runners in this race. I want to go back and show you a performance. Katie, is this not the horse you have on top, or do you have him on top? No, and that is Big Awesome.
I have Big Awesome on the ticket, and you should because of the trouble he had last time. As a rider, I think there are 2 things that you really don't want to happen. One is having your saddle slip. The other is losing your irons,
Yeah,
and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Clearly has to spot the field a good amount of ground. Prior to that start, he was a 2 3/4 length winner. So I think he can definitely get back on track if that rider can keep his irons.
I mean, you know, most people are going to see that. You know, somebody might miss it, but, you know, really, it really affects what the, the jockey grabbed his irons a little later on the race. But as you saw in the video there, had to, just try and grab him back in spots to feel those lengths. With that said, I went with the number 3 horse in here, and that is Remembering Richie, who I have in second. He's trying the dirt for the first time after returning from the layoff to run. I thought a really game second against $30,000 2 lifetime claimers. That was going 5 furlongs on the turf, and Gelding gets a tepid nod in here. It's really a tough race to decipher. Big Awesome might turn out being the right horse in here. I did go with the number 3 horse, Remembering Richie, but I'm not sold. I also have the number 2 all over it on my ticket.
Not completely sold on this one either, but I'm hoping that he can rebound from his last race. He broke his maiden at first asking, then drew off to a 3.5 length score, first time facing winners. But then returned from a 2-month layoff, dueled along the rail, faded to 10th. Think he faces a slightly more agreeable field today, second start off the layoff. And what I liked was that his 2 previous wins came at a mile, so the distance won't be an issue.
Yeah, and ridden today by Tyler Gaffleone, and trainer is Peter Walder, so he does an excellent job with horses, both turning back in distance and making the second start off a layoff. But that performance last time out was not that pretty. No, not pretty at all. So you'll watch the tote action in that race, see what's going on there. Maybe you'll get another clue of how that horse might run today. Tyler Gaffleone in the saddle, Peter Walder. Hard to leave those horses off your rolling super high 5 ticket. Race number 9, back on the turf, 1 mile, claimers, fillies and mares, 3 and up, non-winners of 3 in life or 3-year-olds, $16,000. Main track only is still in as of now. We'll let you know when Peter Eller gets up here. I'll update you on all the scratches and jockey changes you need. I went with the number 2 horse in here. You have a third, Pretty Patsy, but you did go with number 1, Rosa Graciela.
She's really an exciting filly to watch. You know she's going to be coming from the back of the pack, and she's really produced some exciting closing kicks to get up in her races. Won 3 in a row earlier in the summer, then was the runner-up and gaining again, coming on late, only beaten a half length, and then last time out was 3rd. That was on September 20th. Again, Circle the Field was coming on, but no one that day was catching LA Style, was a 9-length winner that day. She's the only 3-time winner in the field, has never been off the board at the distance, but she was off the board in her lone start on this turf course last year. We'll see if she's a different filly now.
Well, she's 10 for 13 in the money this year, so that's saying a lot when you get with this level of competition. She's what we call a hard-knocking campaigner, and I would not be surprised to see her win it, or, definitely going to be on my ticket. I did go with the number 2 horse in here, and that's Pretty Patsy, who's stretching out to a mile after posting her second victory in 3 starts when she used her tactical speed to defeat $12,500 2 lifetime claimers going 7.5 furlongs. Her current form is what sold me. She's stepping up, but I just, maybe, it's sort of like a lateral. It actually is stepping up a little bit, but her current form is what sold me, and that's why I put her on the ticket. I know you had her on the ticket, too.
Absolutely, and even stepping up in the price isn't what bothers me. It's that she's stepping up in price and condition level. So it's a little tough, but she's been running her eyeballs out, and she should definitely be on your ticket.
Another one stepping up is the number 8, and that's Belina Lady.
She's certainly bred for it as a daughter of English Channel, taking the next step up in conditions, got up for a 3/4 length score on October 2nd for Antonio Machado. I like that she's competed against a lot tougher in her career from a claiming price standpoint. She's run with $20,000, $30,000, and $50,000 claiming competition, so perhaps she can use that back class to her advantage.
What I like her is her outside post position. I think she's going to sit the trip. The same one that afforded her the victory last time out can do it again. She's got the speed break into her inside. She's going to run well, and she's on the outside. It's only post 8, so it's not like all the way out there. So I just think this horse can run pretty well in there. So you see her selections. We're sort of in agreement. You just got to box them around. 10th and final race on the Friday card. 5 furlongs on the grass. Claimers 3 and up. Non-winners of 2 in life, $12,500. 1 scratch, number 4, C. Dr. Gold. We both went with the number 3, Super Secret, a candidate today for a rebound performance. But if you ask me, I'm sold. I'm not. I put it on top, but I'm waiting to hear something different.
Well, there's a little bit of a key race angle here,
Right.
and I think that's what helped me give this horse the nod. Gaining third in his last start, got up along the rail behind repeat winner El Guire River. That was on the first. It was his first time facing winners, so a solid effort with that. He broke his maiden by 3.5 lengths on September 20th, and that day he defeated a horse named Radamel, who would come back to break his maiden by 4 lengths in his next start, which came here last week.
Okay, you sold me. Let's talk about the number 7, Burin Quinier, and this one we're going to try and make it 2 in a row after using his speed to defeat who else? Super Secret. That was a $12,500 maiden test on September 6th. Dan Peter, Edgar Zines handling the rematch today.
And you know what? That day, in his last start, he also beat Radamel, who just won. So there's a thread running through these races of Super Secret, Burin, and Radamel. They all know each other well.
What the horse I didn't know what to do and put it on my ticket was Clear Status is the unknown in the field, I think, when he returns to the turf. He's had 2 races on the turf with a win. His first race in 364 days. I was able to figure it out because he ran almost a year ago, 1 day short. So it's very easy to figure out for me. Gustavo Delgado, he's about 17% with the greater than 180-day layoff. As Jonathan Gonzalez atop this lightly raced 5-year-old son of Wildcat Air. Like Wildcat Air on the turf. I like the connections, and I just didn't know what to do. I just have a feeling this horse is going to run okay in here, albeit first race in about a year.
And we like simple subtraction.
Yeah, exactly. It always makes it easy for you. Anybody else as we head out for Friday's card?
I threw in the 8 Belsize Park, making his first start off the claim for Francisco D'Angelo. Here's a barn looking for their first win in this country. But this one working really well for his turf debut, and the Sire Munnings 16% with turf runners. Dam is by Giants Causeway, who ran exclusively on synthetic. That mare gets blinkers added, and Tyler Gaffleone rides.
Well, we're about to start our Friday afternoon. We're going to turn it over to our track announcer, Pete Aiello. He will update you on all the track conditions, scratches, everything you need to have a fun day at the Fall Turf Festival at Gulfstream Park West.